Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, you are going to find out whether your little plot for juror number 6 is going to work. Judge Submarine made a tentative ruling on Friday about whether he should keep juror number 6 or not. Now, Xavier Donaldson, who is earning his money with Diddy, literally made an impassioned plea on why we need diversity, even though this is one of the most diverse juries anybody's ever seen in the Southern District of New York, and to why that juror must stay on. But many people, including myself, were wondering, why is Diddy so obsessed with juror number 6? And baby, don't tell me it's because he's doing it for the community. Because the only thing he did for the community was put some baby oil, Astroglide, and maybe even some Molly Wop and Molly in somebody's drink. But you guys, we did a little digging, and I think we got into what Diddy's obsession is with juror number 6 and why. Y'all, let's get into this because, baby, when I say this goes deep, it goes deep. Let's go. All right, y'all, let's get into Diddy's obsessed with this one juror, and now we know why. Y'all, so why is Diddy out here fighting for this one juror like he spotted the last lifeboat on the Titanic that's his legal future? Maybe I did a deep dive about what's going on behind the scenes and why this man might be the key to getting Diddy off, or at least Diddy thinks he is. Y'all, Diddy's team just filed a 14-page freakout trying to stop the judge from dismissing one black juror. And when I say freakout, I mean they're calling it unconstitutional, racially biased, courtroom injustice, everything but divine intervention. But y'all, we gotta be real. This is not about justice. This is just simply Diddy's desperation, baby, disguised as caring for the community. So who's this mystery juror? We don't know his name, but we know he's one of only 2 black men on the jury, okay? Now, keep in mind, there is a third alternate who appears to be black as well. We also know Diddy's lawyers are treating him like Beyonce tickets, irreplaceable, untouchable, and deeply symbolic. They even said removing him would deny Diddy a jury of his peers. Diddy turned on everybody black the second the Fed showed up. So what is he doing behind this? And why does he think this guy would be so much on his side? Now, baby, one of the wildest things is this juror was allegedly part of what people are now jokingly call the Holy Trinity, or the Bermuda Triangle of this case. A cluster of jurors that defense attorneys have been watching closely. Rumors started flying that he might be the one holding it together for Diddy, or at least stirring up enough chaos to hang the jury. Now, again, nobody knows for sure, but Diddy is literally doing everything he can on a hope, a whim, a dream, and a prayer, okay? This is why Brian Steele is fighting like hell. Now, here's where things get spicy. Brian Steele, yes, the same defense attorney from the YSL RICO case, is part of Diddy's legal team squad. Now, let me remind you, Brian Steele's team is notorious for jury profiling. They literally have someone nicknamed the YSL Granny who sits in court, studies every juror's face, and builds psychological profiles. You think they're fighting this hard over a random man, baby? They read that jury like a BuzzFeed horoscope and already clocked the tea, or at least they think they did, over who might be their secret weapon. Now, also, really quick, guys, I did a thing. Yeah! There is merch you can click. There's your Anna Diddy Did It sweatshirts, t-shirts, and TikTok. Y'all been asking for merch for a while. We have merch. Come on, pick us up. Support your girl. And for you smoothie coffee lovers, we also have stuff. Okay, fine, I'll get back to it. But I'm just saying, your girl has a lot of new merch. If you don't like this, we have a lot, t-shirts and everything with really funny sayings. Just go support. Don't think that they're going to be throwing this type of fit over someone who sees Diddy for who he really is. They're fighting to protect the one juror that they hope, they believe, and they pray it doesn't. Now, here's the funny thing, okay? Diddy's team is also playing the race card like it's a Uno reverse. They're dragging up the government's preemptory strikes, screaming civil rights, and acting like this trial is the Montgomery bus boycott. But let's be honest, this isn't a civil rights crusade. This is a billionaire clinging to a last-ditch lifeline. A single juror may be confused, maybe even sympathetic, to avoid the reality of the evidence stacked against them. Again, Xavier Donaldson made an impassioned plea. That was true. We are, as Black people, underrepresented on juries. Usually, especially in the Southern District of New York and the Bronx, those jurors are all white, all great arguments. However, I don't believe that anyone Diddy is fighting for is anything outside of he thinks that somehow this juror will help him get a hung jury. Okay? So, you know what? Let's just roll it back, right? If you see Diddy sweating over this juror like it's a final rose ceremony on The Bachelor, I think we've now figured out why. His team isn't just fighting the judge. They're fighting time, they're fighting reality, and they're fighting truth. And maybe, just maybe, it looks like they think, maybe through their juror profiling, that this one juror could be the loophole they've been praying for. But remember, when you start throwing spaghetti at the wall, eventually you're left with that mess on the floor. You guys, seriously, what do you think about this? Because, yeah, it seems really odd. Again, you guys, they're not just playing the whole race card, they're throwing the whole deck. On page 2, they wrote, this juror is one of the only 2 Black men on the jury. Again, there's actually 3 if you check out the alternates, okay? Before claiming that kicking him off would erase the very perspective Diddy supposedly needs. They go so far as to say his removal would deprive Diddy of that important perspective. And no, having other Black jurors doesn't count. Apparently this one is special. That's another thing. Even if the alternate was Black, they still want to keep this one. Let you know what they're up to. Again, they're reading the jurors like table cards. The defense subtly admits that they've been watching the jurors like a hawk. They say to the judge they had an opportunity to assess the jurors' demeanor at close proximity and never suggested any reason to doubt his honesty. That's legal speak for, we already vetted him, Your Honor, and we like what we see. And let's not pretend. You guys, this is Brian Still's team. They are people, again, like I said, they bring jury analysis, body language readers, and yes, the infamous YSL Granny who clocks every eyebrow twitch. If they're obsessed with this one juror, it's not about justice, it's about control. And listen, the judge did change his mind out of nowhere, and they clocked that. In a rare moment of legal side-eye, Diddy's lawyers actually said they were stunned when the judge flipped from let's give him the benefit of the doubt to he's deceptive, dismiss him now. 1 minute they said the judge said there was an understandable way to reconcile the jurors' answers, and the next minute he's declaring him unfit without even questioning him further. And Diddy's team is calling it out in writing. No, but again, they're only giving one-sided because the judge actually questioned the guy further and was not satisfied with the answers. Now, again, some people say they're using Blackness like a juice cleanse, only when it benefits them. Diddy's lawyers suddenly care about racial injustice, dropping lines like, the government used 7 of its 9 preemptory strikes on Black jurors. People should not be precluded from serving on juries because of prior conviction. And this case will have a chilling effect on minority jurors' willingness to serve the future. That's cute coming from a man who built an empire by exploiting Black labor and dropped names the second things got hot. He's not protecting Black people, he's protecting himself. But more importantly, how many Black jurors did Diddy's team strike? Baby, and even the defense admits this isn't about civil rights, it's about bedroom drama. They said this prosecution has nothing to do with civil rights enforcement. What is being prosecuted is allegations about private sexual activity Mr. Combs engaged in. Listen, why invoke the Civil Rights Unit at all? Because they want to rebrand this as a political hit, when really it's a very expensive, very ugly, and very public unraveling of a desperate defense for a man that many people feel is guilty. So what do y'all think? Okay? What do y'all think? Again, I'm going to come out here as soon as we get the ruling, and we're going to discuss what was in the courtroom. I am live outside of the court. However, people are filming in my spot where I usually film, so I had to go off camera. But don't worry, I'll be back to reclaim my spot. In the meantime, let you know. Let me know what you think. Do you think the judge is going to give in or what? Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.